So I'm here today with Selly Wane, the founder of SWANE-Design. Thank you so much for making the time, Selly.
Thank you for inviting me, Thomas.
Most welcome. Maybe the first things first. What is SWANE-Design?
SWANE-Design is a label, an upcycling label, transforming trash into furniture. Very different type of garbage. It can be metal, like out of oil barrels, but also wood and everything we find actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and we started with all types of garbage, but then we just focused on metal, more and more.
Okay. So how did you come up with the idea to take trash and to make furniture out of it?
I grew up in Senegal, and I've always been fascinated by people who were already working in that field and just taking like this trash and making like some small cars and toys for tourists. And I always just wanted to be creative. In my young age, I wanted to be an architect. I never did it, but somehow I just always had like this interest for design, I think. But then also when I came to Germany and started my studies, I started working into sustainability research and just realized how important sustainability can be, but also the social aspect of it, not just like the ecological one. And all these like thoughts came together at some point. I needed like much time to bring it together, years, because I just knew I wanted to do something in Senegal. I wanted to have something creative and design. I also wanted to have an ecological impact and social impact. And then I kept like thinking, okay, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? And at some point it just like came like this.
Wow.
And at that time I was traveling, and then I just decided to come back to Wuppertal because I just realized how much space I have here to unfold this idea and everything I just wanted to do.
All right. So as a child you wanted to be an architect, then you studied in Germany. You have this idea to somehow bring together sustainability but also the social aspect. And then after traveling, you come to Wuppertal and say, okay, let's do it. How did you start? I mean, you just had, the way I imagine it, you are just in a city, not even in Senegal, and you just have this idea, okay, I want to transform trash in Senegal into furniture. How do you do that?
Well, in just taking time to write down my thoughts and having like a small, just a short concept, short note, and then I just wrote like a page and thought, okay, what can I do with this? And went into the internet and just saw that the Chamber of Commerce, they offered like some consulting like for entrepreneurs. So I went there and with my note, my concept, he just told me, oh, it will be very difficult, and I don't think if you, there is like some micro like credit and so, but I think that what you want to do will not be possible with that. But I think I kept like coming back, and he told me, yeah, okay, write a business plan. And then I think I didn't know how to write a business plan. But then I was like on government support, and then I had this opportunity to take a course and to learn how to write a business plan. And it was right here, 200 meters away from here. And then I was there for a week. And after a week, I just felt, I know how it works. And then I just wrote my business plan and sent it to someone who gave me feedback. I implemented the feedback, and then I came back to this guy and told him, yeah, that's my concept. And somehow he helped me. I got this like microcredit. Okay. And then I was there, oh God, now the money is here. I need to start. Where to start? I think then I just realized, because I think before it was just for me like having ideas and trying to push them. And then I realized, now I've got in debt 25,000 euro and I need to pay them back. So then I think I felt stressed, but at the same time I felt like, okay, you know what, it is not too much, no? Because then at some point, if you just like completely fail, you will have to find a job in a cafe or somewhere and work for 500 euro a month. Do you think you could manage? And I've asked this then to myself, and I felt, yeah, I could. And I just, started, went to Senegal, then I met craftsmen. Started already with contracts and everything. It didn't work out anyway because it was the wrong way. But somehow after 8 weeks, I already had some kind of, or let's say maybe 12 weeks, like a container full of things. But don't ask me like the tables. Very creative style, I would say. But in summer, it was here. And there were like some people who got interested in it. No, but before there was also like a factor which played a role. I knew, okay, if I try to bring things and try to sell them by myself, it won't work because it would be just too much work. So
to do the marketing.
Exactly. So I decided like to contact as well like structures who would like just buy it and resell it for them. And I felt this is the only way for me like to survive here alone. And then, I think, yes, at the beginning I was like phoning like stores and everywhere in Germany and to get like some,
to get off-takers.
Yeah, to get off-takers. And and somehow it's, I think there are like 2, 3, 4 people who reacted. And those people also like, we had a very long-term like then relationship, which helped me really much like to implement or to stabilize like the design thing.
So okay, just to see if I got this right, you have this idea, you write a business plan, the guy that you show it to, he thinks it doesn't work, but he still helps you, and then in the end you have this money. Say, okay, now I have to do something because I will have to pay this money back. You go to Senegal, and then what you're trying to do doesn't really work, but somehow you end up with a container full of things. Like, were those the products that you had envisioned that you would get, or did you just buy products that you found from people that were already doing upcycling and you just shipped it here, and then you were here with a container full of things and you didn't have off-takers yet? How did this work?
No, I think like indeed like the idea behind was like to see how we could like bring some change in in society, community, like through upcycling. And for me it was clear that you can't bring such a change like with toys, for example, or just for tourism. And it needs to be something people really need, like for the everyday life. And then that's how I came up like with the idea of furniture. We all need like a table, a chair, different stuff. And that was my motivation. So when I came to Senegal, nobody was basically doing it, maybe one person and so, but then not with the idea of upcycling, like much more like high-end design and but not this idea of having like a kind of circle economy. And that's why I just found people, and together we started like, making tables, making chairs, like not solid enough. And, and I think like I still have like half of it like somewhere here. But we started, and for me it was such a great time, because it's a time also you just realize you have something hear ideas or creativity, you just want to live out your creativity, and you just have this opportunity. You see raw materials, you see something, and you start like thinking in this process, okay, what could it become, and so on. I was working half-time in this research institute at that time, and it was like absolutely like the balance I needed, having this and creativity side of me coming out, and it was tiring, because even in Dakar I was working like 17 hours or whatever, like a whole day, but I didn't feel like tired. And when I came back, I was like also very kind of rested. I felt rested, because for me it was like hobby, and it was like I had holiday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you shipped this container full of things. When the things arrived, did you already have some clients here in Germany, or did you just have the things in a container and now you try to sell them?
I had some clients, but not enough, because in this process I kept like calling people. But so I would say some of it was like from clients, and some of it like was just like ideas I had, and so. And I started going to markets and to fairs, and just like and the places where people came and they bought like the stuff and so on.
Okay. How long did it take you from this first trip to Senegal to start the business, to start the production, until you could say, okay, this is working and I know I can live from this, this is a real business, and it's the proof of concept is there.
It has never become a business which I could live from, actually. Because for me it was something I did, but not professionally enough. And I think I don't have like also the real know-how to do it, like, and just this design, and but it was for me enough to pay back like the loan, to give like some work to some people, and to just live out this creativity, and to show it, and to just like start the thing I just wanted to start. So at the point I would say I could live from that, I think I was already somewhere else and doing some other stuff. And today I know if I had to do it again, and I wouldn't do it like by myself. I would just like try to find people, bring them together, and like people who are just like, have also a lot of know-how, and so help them like through this process. And
Right now we're sitting in Swain Cafe in Wuppertal. How did it happen that from the upcycling business you have your first clients, you can pay back the loan? How did you become the owner of a cafe? How did that happen?
Because after some years, I just felt, you know what, I am a bit tired of moving around and going here this weekend, and so just wanted to have a place where to show this like furniture, and but also as a student, I was very active, like organizing concerts, organizing very different like types of events, and I kind of missed that part. So I just wanted to have a place where I could like combine like showing this and also having workshops, having events going on, and so. And then I found like in the internet like 2 locations, and I was invited to see them, and so. And for both, they told me like, I think it's too much for you, too big, so you don't. And it was really big. It was like in a former cinema, so. And I would have to like have so many people being on board, and so. But I think then he saw me with, I told him my idea, And I think he just felt like, okay, I don't think you are the one who would really be able to do that. And that day I was just, because I had this vision of doing it there, and I was so disappointed. And that day I felt like, okay, you know what, it was in the morning, I hadn't had breakfast, coffee, and so I felt, okay, just walk and see, maybe we'll find something and have breakfast and so. And then I came like here along the street and thought, oh, that is like a cafe. I haven't been here for long. Let's see if they are open. I came here and there was someone like smoking, and I asked me, okay, at what time are they opening? And then he told me like, but they closed like 2 or 3 years ago. Oh. I immediately then felt, okay, that could be the place. And I already directly told him, I'm looking for a place and so on. He said, I don't know if you will get it, but I can give you the number of this person. And he was just here to smoke a cigarette. I mean, if I had been here 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, I would never have met like this person. He gave me the number, and I called this woman, and we made the first appointment. I came in and saw it, and he heard it, and she was kind of skeptical and so. And then at some point she said no, she won't give it to me and so. But I kept like, I don't know why, I don't know what I did after, but I came back like and told her like, I just really wanted this place. I don't know why. At some point she said yes, and said to me, okay, but you know what, don't make like a shop out of it, because you would have so much to have to pay so much money for the Umnutzung to change the use of the place.
Selly, from what you're sharing, it sounds like you don't take no for an answer. Like the guy where you first went to get a loan, he said, oh, it won't work, but somehow you kept going back to him and he helped you. And then the people here, they didn't want to rent you this space, and you just kept going back there and saying, no, I really want it. I want it, and then you get it. Where do you have this energy from? Where do you have this mindset from that, you know, it's worth to ask again, it's worth to pursue this? Like, you must have some confidence that asking again might change their mind, right?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think I am very especially confident, no? And I don't do it like systematically. But I don't know why, but in these two things, I just sensed that I could make it. And I knew like things could be difficult. But I think I was sure that I would put like the energy needed to make it work. That I knew like I would work like night and day, like to just like this idea come up. And also I think felt if I don't do it, like it will never go away. I'll always have it in my mind, and so I need just like to do it. Like to be sure, like, no, I just have done it. I'm sure it's not working. And I think I never believed like people when they try to tell me what is right or what is. I think I always try to make the experience by myself, and I'm always trusted that. Because people don't see it like it, doesn't mean that it is like that. No? And I think that's it. That's my natural. It's not self-confidence. It is like my natural way to trust that there's not one truth, like and there is the truth people have. My truth can be another one. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite helpful. Selly, you came to Germany to study. You grew up in a Senegalese home. What did your parents, what did your friends say when, you know, you said, okay, I'm going to start my own business and I'm not going to continue working at this research institute forever, and I'm going to, you know, create jobs and convert trash into something, into products.
Yeah, I think people just felt like I'm crazy, and even in Germany, not just in Senegal, because most of the people I contacted, they wanted maybe like some baskets with a bit of recycling, but not like an upcycling. And at this point, nobody, I think even the word upcycling didn't exist. And I remember even like meeting two guys who like 2 years ago, 2 years after, and they wanted to do some upcycling, but they had like their website, the name was Recycling the Luxe. And after the name came up, like upcycling, then changed it to Upcycling Deluxe. So, and that is actually the problem at that time. Upcycling didn't exist, and it was like just here, and maybe some people doing it, but not with the same goal, with like this, like having like circular economy into there. No? So it was, and I wouldn't say it was not. People, it was, but it was not nothing which would say it was like part of our life.
What was the immediate reaction of your parents, for example?
I think my parents were just shocked, and my dad looked at me and he told me like, "You are not serious, making furniture out of trash," and I think like the German people are crazy, and every time we would talk on the phone, I've got headache about like your idea and what you're doing.
So has it changed over time? Does he understand it now, or?
No, he doesn't necessarily understand it, but he just realized that I'm going my way, I'm doing my thing, and everything is working, I'm fine. And I think like over the last couple of years, he became more relaxed, and he just realizing that I'm fine and I will be able to cope like whatever comes.
Selly, besides the upcycling business and besides creating jobs in Senegal, and then also besides the cafe, you're now also running an incubator for civil society organizations, right? First of all, what do you do there? And then also, how do you manage all of that together? It sounds like a lot.
Yes, it is a lot. And yeah, I think I'm always working, always doing things, but at the same time, these are things I've been doing like all my life. So it's been my hobby, like to be interacting with like organizations, interacting with associations, and I just felt like I'll be more effective if I do it within my job framework and not just like as a hobby. I think there are two things which have moved me my whole life. One is how to build bridges between the global south and the global north, and how to make exchange possible. And the other thing is how we, as people who came from other countries, can manage to find our place here in the German society. There are so many people who are like living like in their own circle, actually each of us. So how do you get like a kind of conversation going on? And I sat there and thought like, okay, for me, I want to address like those like problems, issues, and try to find like ways to make people come together. And for me, the cafe was the first step for it, but I quickly realized it is not enough, because like people interact like for coffee, for a beer, but it's not like, you know, they just learn to get each other and to get to know, to understand the challenges they have, like, no? And also the perspectives, like the different perspectives they bring. And I started like with a small team to develop like like methods to bring people together. So, and also what I'm working at for now is also how do you train, for example, entrepreneurs in the global south if they are illiterate? Because usually we've got like these models going on with like business canvas model and things like that, but it doesn't work with people who haven't been at school. And I'm trying to tackle this in developing also games, so people can learn like differently. I think it has become a passion. I cannot explain why I'm doing it. I just know that for me it's like almost a need, and I think that's also the DNA of many entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs because it's a need they have, like in them, to always like go a step further.
Selly, in one conversation that we had, you shared with me that even after your studies, you didn't really know what you were capable of doing. You didn't really know that you could do something. Actually, you shared with me that you didn't think that you have skills that can be useful. How did you make that shift, or how did that shift happen?
Maybe I've always been a very curious person, and indeed, after studies, I just felt like I couldn't find like my role. I didn't know even what I've studied. No? I couldn't say like what I've learned really, and I was just lost. And I tried to apply for jobs, and I didn't get them, or I got like jobs, but they were like not the job like I expected to. No, it's just things like I wanted to do, or I felt like okay, it will. I kept exploring, but also I had this pressure to fit in. And I think at that time I met a great organization, Initiatives of Change, and I met people who just like had learned for themselves to follow their calling, and not much what like expectations from family or whoever, but they just felt like, okay, that's my calling, that's what I want to do. They reflected it, but then they were really straight into that what they wanted to do. And sometimes it was even not clear for them, but they just made one step after another, just being open on what would happen and completely free of fear. And I think that has inspired me so much, just to see like a couple of people and what they were able to do. And I felt, I think for me that was the shift, to realize life is a game actually, and you can just take steps. You could fail or not, but you are always able to go one step further, whatever happened. And it is not much about meeting the expectation of anybody, but about like maybe following your calling in somehow and finding it. So, yeah.
It's quite powerful. When you shared that, what came to me is that many people don't even know, being themselves and being authentically themselves, how much they can inspire other people, and how just by being themselves they can really be great teachers and change makers. Just through that. Thanks for sharing. My final question would be, what would be your advice to young people in Senegal today?
My advice would be just believe in you, and don't let anybody tell you things are not possible until you have like made the experience for yourself. And it's very important to have a big dream, but try first to see in your environment what you could change, what you could do, which step you could take, and just take it. Don't try to have like the perfect, actually then irgendwie plan for you. Just do it, and you'll see afterwards. If it works, then great. If it doesn't work, you will take out something out of it and make maybe something else. And I think like my story is also about like a lot of failures and trying to find myself for years and years and years, and at some point everything like just came together.
Thank you so much. Love that. Thank you for sharing.
Danke.
Sehr gerne, Selly. Ich danke dir. Schön.